Don't come between. Don't come for sisters. Okay. That's it. Assalamu alaikum, Imam Saeed. It's 5 o'clock now. I think you should start.
Assalamu alaikum. Our lecturer has done, so you can just move him to panelist.
He is a panelist already. He has
dual devices. So we need to know which one is active majorly that we need to use to project. But we can as well move the two if it's the one that is in both of them.
Okay.
If it's okay by it.
Okay, thank you.
I think we should start now. Imam Said Adekunle, you should start now. It's past 5.
Imam Adekunle, you can start.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المصطفى سيد الوجود سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first without any point of beginning, who will be the last without any point of termination. We praise Him. Dragon of virtue, the person of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and on his household, the totality of his companions, and on every one of us from this time till the end of time. Alhamdulillah. My dear brothers and sisters, I want to welcome every one of us to today's webinar, which is one of the type that we have every week, every Sunday between 5 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. Today, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we shall be looking at cooperative society, Islamic perspective, and we have someone who knows so much about cooperative society, who knows so much about the Islamic perspective of cooperative society, because he is an insider himself.
I can't see Imam Said again. I don't know whether it's from me.
I can't hear him. I can't hear him too. Can't hear him.
Imam Anisha, can you step in, please? Maybe the network has bumped him out.
Yeah, okay, sir. So inshallah, we continue the program by having our opening prayer. Imam Musbauddin Alagunju, please give us the opening prayer to commence this event, this webinar.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الحمد لله رب العالمين. We thank Almighty Allah. We appreciate Him. We glorify His name. We thank Him for giving us another opportunity to meet this evening for yet another edition of our weekly webinar. We ask Almighty Allah to come along with us as we are commencing today's program. We ask Him to support us all through the program and to make today's program a success. We also ask Him to give us the reward of participating in the nature on this type of program. May Almighty Allah continue to be with every one of us. Allahumma idina sirat al-mustaqim. Allahumma idina sirat al-mustaqim. Allahumma idina sirat al-mustaqim. Sirat al-ladina an'amta alayhim. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. آمين. آمين.
Amen. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Pardon me, I was trying to do some settings and I pressed the flight mode. Alhamdulillah, the opening dua has just been said. So inshallah, bi'idhnillah, I would like to invite the Chief Missioner of NASFAT. Please, host, kindly admit the Chief Missioner into one of the panelists so that he can give the opening remark. And please, Sheikh Abdurrahman Leki is also amongst the attendees as our guest speaker. Please admit him into the panelists so that we'll be able to share his slide. Okay, he's already one of the co-hosts. All right, so the Chief Missioner of NASFAT is activating his mic. Alhamdulillah, this Chief Missioner of NASFAT is with us. Our father, Sheikh Abdulaziz Marufuddin Onike, will be giving the opening remark like he does every week. May Allah make today's opening remark.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Alhamdulillah namadu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa natawakkalu alayh. Wa na'udhu bihi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlil fala tajida lahu waliyyan murshida. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu. إقرارا لربوبيته وإرغاما لمن جحد به وكفر وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا دائما أبدا إلى يوم الدين. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير. We thank you, Almighty Allah. We praise you, Almighty Allah. We appreciate you, Almighty Allah. We seek the help of the Almighty Allah. We rely on the Almighty Allah. Wherever Allah has gathered the right, nobody can lead him astray. Whoever has been led astray, nobody can guide him aright. We seek Allah's blessing on the Prophet Muhammad. May Allah bless him, bless all his companions, bless the members of his household, and bless all the entire Muslim Ummah. And on the day of Qiyamah, Allah in his infinity mercy admit all of us into paradise. We are welcome once again to another edition of Nasrullah Al-Fatih weekly webinar. We are brought to the house today under elder scholar who is here to do justice to the topic of today. Nasrullah Al-Fatih as a society with a mission to develop an enlightened Muslim society nurtured by the understanding of Islam for spiritual development and welfare of mankind. I decided to ensure that most of the concepts, most of the traditions, most of the fundamentals, most of the issues, most of the contemporary topics in Islam will be brought to you, and we shall be bringing scholars who will analyze those issues, those concepts, those traditions, those fundamentals, and ensure that our people get more enlightened about those fundamentals and principles and concepts. Inshallah, our mission since we established society in 1995 has remained the same, even though we have divided it now, we have now divided it into four for easy application, for easy implementation. We denote our mission with an acronym called H. H for health, E for education, L for livelihood, and D for dawah. Part of our dawah activities, part of our education activities is this weekly webinar that we have started for quite some time, and we do it every Sunday at 6:30 Nigerian time. Today, we have chosen another topic that will be of interest for all of you. And what are we trying to promote? To promote one of the teachings of Islam, which is cooperation, which is solidarity, which is group feeling, which is esprit du corps. Allah says in the Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَتَعَوَّنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَوَّنُوا endurance, children, studying evil, and depression. Islam has a lot of concepts that are better on cooperation, and one of them is Islamic cooperative. One of them is cooperative. Other one is solidarity insurance, popularly known as Takaful. Today, we want to discuss cooperative from the Islamic perspective. And we have brought to you a seasoned cooperator, a seasoned scholar in that field, who will do justice to that topic. Sheikh Abraham Lekki will take you down the journey of the perception of Islam when it comes to cooperative. Some of us have been involved in one cooperative variety or the other. Is it legal? Is it halal? Is it haram? Is it something that we should be encouraged to do? If you are encouraged to do it, how do you do it? In the next 45 minutes, inshallah, our scholar in the house, Sheikh Abraham Lekki, we discuss the issue, and there will be room for question and answer. Not to write the party, inshallah, to continue to do what we are doing in order to fulfill our mission, in order to drive home our objective, in order to make the society to grow from strength to strength, in order to make us achieve all our missions, in order to make us achieve all our goals. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. I don't know if Allah make the task easy for our lecturer today. And may Allah add our living whatever we are doing to come and listen to it. May Allah add it to our state of good deeds on the day of Qiyamah. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين على النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Shana of Nasfat, our chief imam, Sheikh Marfuddin Abaziz Onike, Adamallahu ayatahu. May Allah continue to preserve your life for us and for Deen al-Islam. Having done that, I'd like to invite the guest lecturer who, inshallah, in the next 45-50 minutes will be talking to the topic. The person that will be speaking to us today, I said during my introduction that he is a professional. He is the person of Abdurrahman Lekki. He is a management services consultant, facilitator with specialization in business process design and improvement, structure, human resource management, leadership, change management, emotional intelligence, and financial intelligence. He has over 15 years experience in the above capacities. He has an uncompromising belief that people are the key to success in any organization. Brother Abdurrahman Lekki is currently head of consultancy services units, Office of Transformation, Creativity and Innovation, Lagos State. He once served as the supervisor for budget, planning and statistics in Lekki local council development area. He was the head of training, that is learning and development, as well as workforce planning unit in the administration and human resource department of the Lagos State Ministry of Information and Strategy. Brother Abdurrahman Lekki has a higher national diploma in marketing, a Bachelor of Science degree in economics, as well as a master's in business administration. He is a member of the Nigeria Institute of Management, that's chartered, as well as the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. He was the pioneer team lead of a Q Business Club, a transformational and innovative club committed to building a world-class, disruptive, and highly scalable business development model for the working class. He is the co-founder of basemusmore.com, an e-commerce platform that aggregates sellers and offers flexible payment solutions for different categories of products. Abdurrahman Lekki is also the president of Zero Interest Multipurpose Cooperative Society. You know the reason why we brought it now. Largest non-interest cooperative and second largest multi-purpose cooperative in India. Wow, that is huge. He is the convener and lead faculty of the Total Freedom Project. I had the opportunity of being one of those that benefited from the project in 2021, this year. The TFP, which is the Total Freedom Project, is a non-for-profit leadership training academy committed to breeding future leaders. He has to his credit over 10,000 man-hours as a facilitator and participants at various local and international leadership courses. He has consulted and worked with a wide range of private and public sector organizations throughout Nigeria. He's also actively involved in several nation and human capacity building initiatives. He has received awards, which is the NAPS, that is National Association of Polytechnic Students, the Youth Motivator of the Year 2013 award. He won Best Officer Award for the Senior Staff category in 2016 and 2017 consecutively, as well as the prestigious Lagos State Outstanding Officer of the Year Award in the year 2018. He also received the Lagos State Productivity Order of Merit Award, Senior Staff category in the year 2020. Brother Lekki, who also has several years' experience as a TV and radio presenter, is a grassroots mobilizer and youth motivator by excellence. My dear brothers and sisters, Sheikh, that are here today, join me as I welcome for his topic, the topic Islamic Cooperatives, Islamic Cooperative Society, Islamic Perspective, President Sheikh Abdullah Maleki. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وبه نستعين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Today we've been asked to briefly talk about the Islamic cooperatives, the challenges and prospects. Inshallah, without much, we shall be talking about about cooperatives generally, the rules of cooperative. Those are what we'll be learning today, inshallah. Then we'll also talk about Islamic cooperatives. We'll also try to create the nexus between Islam and cooperatives as a principle. And inshallah, if time permits, we shall look briefly at the challenges and the prospects of cooperatives. We will not stop at that. We shall also, if time permits, review briefly the role of the cooperatives and Islamic, most especially the Islamic finance system in financial inclusion in Nigeria. So that will be putting context to, or putting some roles to Islamic cooperatives in Nigeria. Inshallah, we shall try as much as possible to be brief with that. What exactly are cooperatives? So the cooperative is a private business organization that is owned and controlled by the people who use its products, supplies, and services. That is, a cooperative is owned by people. Those people, they are the ones who own the cooperative. They are the ones who use the product of the cooperative. They are the ones who supply the cooperative and who uses the supply of the cooperative, and at the same time uses the services of the cooperative. It means that it is all inclusive. They are both the owner of the business. They are both at the same time the customers of the business. It's also said to be an autonomous association of persons united voluntarily to meet their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations through a jointly owned and democratically controlled enterprise. So what we find out in all of this is that, like I mentioned, it is a business owned by people. They are autonomous. They have some characteristics which we will share. But what is central among those characteristics is the fact that the owners of the business are also the customers and patronesses of the business. What are the values of cooperatives? In brief, the values are self-help. Everybody help themselves. The cooperative takes responsibility for helping itself to be successful. Self-responsibility. Everybody in the cooperative plays a role in the cooperative. Some of the values that the cooperatives share, and one of their key mantra is one for all and all for one, meaning that everybody takes care of everybody. Then part of it is democracy. The cooperative runs in a democratic setting. Everything has to boil down to a decision from everybody, not just one person ownership. Nobody owns a cooperative. Equality, everybody is equal in a cooperative. Even if you save 1 million and I save 10,000, we are equal. Even though we are equal, there is equity in the cooperative. Yes, there's a difference. Even though we are equal in vote, we are equal in decision making. When I want to get a loan, for instance, I get a loan equitably on the basis of what I have saved. If we want to share profit, we share it equitably on the basis of what I have saved. So there's a bit of a difference between the values of equality and equity in cooperative. And also there's solidarity. We're always looking after each other because we are people of the same background. The rules of the cooperative is that people that have common background, that have common interests, are those who should form a cooperative. There should be something binding you together. And of course, here, Islam is a good binder. So it's an opportunity for us to leverage it. In tradition of the founders of the cooperative member believes in the ethical values of honesty, openness, social responsibility, and caring for others. Because the way cooperative started as a movement of some workers, people working in an environment who feel they have been deprived, who feel the bourgeoisies have taken over the whole of the economic system, and they are left in penury, and they are left in poverty. Those they came together and said, look, let us be open with ourselves. Let us be socially responsible with ourselves. Let us be honest with ourselves. Let us look after ourselves. Let us care after ourselves. If we put all of this in practice, the cooperative obviously will come out as one of the best things that have happened to humanity. Yeah, also, International Cooperative Alliance stated some principles that are agreed the principles were adopted in 1995 as the central principles of cooperative. And those principles, they are socially minded. As we shall see, those principles have a lot in common with what Islam also shares. And the first of it is that the cooperative must be voluntary and open. Nobody must be forced to join a cooperative. And one of the reasons that there's a certain cooperative in Nigeria, I want to mention names, that the membership is not voluntary. They made it so compulsory, and the cooperative union will say, look, in fact, they are not part of the cooperative union, majorly because of that, because they have made their membership compulsory. So, but the central principle of cooperatives must be voluntary and open. There must be democratic member control, meaning that the members must be part of decision making, must be part of appointing leadership of the cooperative. Also, members must participate economically. If you don't have any savings in the cooperative, one of the central things that makes you a member of the cooperative is that you have economic participation, meaning that you save money there, you have investment in the cooperative, or you have savings in the cooperative. If you don't have it, you are not even a member at all. Another one is autonomy and independence. The cooperative is supposed to have its own autonomy, have its own independence. Even though if you have a cooperative within an organization, you are supposed to be autonomous and independent of that organization. Another very important part of the cooperative is education, training, and information. A cooperative will always train and retrain its members. Number 6, there is the cooperation among the cooperatives. And it's called a cooperative because there is cooperation. So it is important principle of the cooperative. And the last of it is that the cooperative will always have concern for the community. Yeah, so that is the those are the 7 principles of the International Cooperative Alliance, which is a worldwide association of cooperatives. Then, if we understand what cooperative is, we understand the use of the cooperative, we understand the principles of cooperative, then what then is an Islamic cooperative? You know, Hazia 2017 defined an Islamic cooperative society. It said it's a conversion of the conventional cooperative through an approach that is in line with Sharia principles. Meaning that, yeah, ordinarily from history, the cooperative society did not emanate from within the Muslim ranks. Society that has been existing, and the Muslims, and according to what we understand of the blessings of Islam, that when it comes to issues like this, everything is halal unless you find what is haram there. So as far as this is concerned, the cooperative is not only halal, it's also an opportunity to do some conversion of some things in the cooperative to make it Islamic. There are a few things in the conventional cooperative which Muslims over the years have been able to work on to make it Islamic. Even though there are still a few challenges which we will share together, and we hope after this we will be able to work together as a people to surmount those challenges in Islamic cooperatives. Once again, Islamic cooperative is a conversion of the conventional cooperative through an approach that is in line with Sharia principles. I would say cooperatives share many of the social and economic values found in the teachings of Islam. If you listen to the values and the principles of the cooperative, those values sound so much like you are reading from the text of Islam, because there are things Islam preaches. Islam preaches openness, Islam preaches cooperation, Islam preaches looking out for humanity, Islam preaches all of those values we share that what Islam preaches. Yeah, so it is key. Then when the essence of Islamic finance principles such as interest, free interest, transparency, and application of profit and loss sharing is combined with the values and principles of the cooperative model, what is created is an efficient, fast-growing organization with the potential to greatly benefit its members as well as the society in general. What are we saying here? That if we bring together, if there's a fusion, if we create a nexus between those cooperative principles and that cooperative model with those financial principles of Islam, those central principles of financial principles of Islam, which is the free interest, if we bring it, layer it on the cooperative, we bring in the principle of transparency, we now top it up with the application of profit and loss sharing. I can tell you for free, the world will be a better place and the humanity will benefit greatly from it, and the world in general will benefit greatly from it. Yeah, Bukhari in 2017 in his work in Nohazia identified 6 major characteristics of Islamic cooperative. Said, yeah, when we say we have converted the regular cooperative to Islamic cooperative, for us to pronounce it as such, the following principles must be at play. Number 1, you acknowledging members' ownership rights on the business capital. That is, the capital of the business is owned by the members. So in that way, if we do that, we will say we have successfully converted the regular cooperative to an Islamic cooperative. Number 2, interest-free transactions are allowed. You see, in the conventional cooperative, it is interest-based. It is interest-based. And today, a lot of efforts have been made to convert those interest-based products to interest-free products. and it has been largely successful, not without some challenges, which we shall still share with us. But I'm very, very positive that if we continue to deepen the knowledge base in this in the Islamic finance follow, meaning that in designing all of your products, the central principles of Sharia must always be adhered to. Also, we must acknowledge the freedom of business and economic endeavors. And lastly, we should acknowledge common rights, that is the common rights of all members of the cooperative. Using the zero interest cooperative as a case study, may Allah bless all of those who made this effort possible. We met it on ground, and we are also joining to be a part of it, and it's been amazing. Like I always mention, not without its own peculiar challenges. The major products of a cooperative are about 8. They are not limited to this, but from the experience of what we do in zero interest, those are the major products of the cooperative. The first of them is regular savings. Regular savings. In fact, that is what defines a cooperative where every member saves according to their capacity. That savings attracts no interest. Their savings, and it is what qualifies you for the in our experience has been abysmal. Even in Nigeria, I don't want to mention names. If you get to them, you hardly see them going into Musharaka and or Mudaraba transactions, meaning going into partnership. They hardly go into it. They rather do cost plus financing, where there is some level of safety which will not jeopardize the funds of the cooperative members. What are the benefits of cooperative? There are a lot of them. Number one, it's a voluntary organization. There is ease of formation. To form a cooperative is very easy. With less than 200,000 naira, you can start a cooperative, and the prospects are huge. It's democratic. There's equitable distribution of surplus. There's limited liability. There's stability of existence. Everybody works for each other, and there's greater identity of interest. It's always encouraged within a limited geographical area where people know themselves. There's usually government support for the cooperatives. It helps in the elimination of middlemen. When you run a cooperative, you can approach any manufacturer, any major distributor, and tell them where cooperatives want to begin to buy from you. In some cases, they will waive some of the conditions for dealership for cooperatives. So the largest middlemen have been eliminated. So where the cooperative can buy from major distributors in bulk and sell to their members at low prices. The other one of the benefits is there are low taxes for the cooperative. In fact, the FRS and the FRS does not tax the cooperative at all. So I can confidently say there are no taxes. All you need to do, there are some levies that you pay to the Ministry of the Cooperatives annually, and that is about 1% of your profit. So, and it makes a lot of sense. Then there's rural credit. It plays a lot of role in agricultural business. It encourages thrift. There's fair price, and there are lots of social benefits in the cooperative. And I can say cooperative is a platform for a lot of financial education. So, having said all of this, is it all just stories of success? I would say no. There have been some bit of challenges in the Islamic cooperative, most especially the Islamic cooperative. We've had a lot of challenges, and one of it is lack of managerial skills. It is very, very low. We need to do in within, even though the government has not recognized any of such within its laws. Those are some of the advocacy we need to really, really work on. So a lot of them don't have a Sharia advisory board. Number three, the government regulation as we speak, none of them has recognized Islamic cooperative. We are only trying to force it on them. They don't, compared to what the CBN has done, that the CBN has been able to have a regulatory framework for Islamic banking. The cooperative, Ministry of Cooperatives, up till today, does not have regulatory framework for Islamic cooperatives. For Islamic cooperatives, and those are some of the challenges. They lack the general knowledge or capacity to regulate. Yeah. Also, because of the apathy and the nonchalance of cooperative members, most especially the Muslim cooperative, there are a lot of misuse of cooperative funds. The regulatory framework for cooperative, even though it's not bad, but it's still not yet very strong enough. So prosecute people who misuse cooperative funds is largely very, very difficult. I can tell you that for free from the benefit of hindsight and experience. So when there is a misuse of funds, being able to prosecute them has been difficult. Also, there have been inefficiencies leading to losses, lack of secrecy. You find out that some of the information within the cooperatives, it's always in the open, whereas some should be kept in secret, even though we still want to be as open as possible, but trade secrets are not meant to be shared just in the open like that. Also, sometimes we develop conflicts among members. So it means that it's deliberate and conscious effort should be made to stem this. Also, the cooperative in some instances are limited in scope. There are some things you may not be able to do when you own a cooperative. For instance, if you want to start some businesses, you may not be able to start those businesses with a cooperative registration. They will insist that you must have a different form of registration before you are able to partake in that business. For instance, if a cooperative wants to run a travel and tours business, the regulatory authorities for travel and tours or for Hajj and Umrah will not recognize your cooperative as a certificate as a basis to join them. They will tell you must bring a limited liability certificate. So it means in some ways it is limited in scope. So because of the inefficiency in the regulation of cooperative, it lacks accountability sometimes. There's lack of accountability. And also sometimes there's lack of motivation. Why? Because everybody is equal here. So even if I bring 10 million and save in the cooperative, my 10 million is doing a lot of wonders in the cooperative. Somebody who has 1 million will have the same vote as me. So sometimes it reduces the motivation, the commitment and responsibilities of members in the cooperative, because there is a very, very little link between effort and reward. In fact, most times the efforts in the cooperative are not adequately rewarded or compensated. Sometimes, even though it's a cooperative, there are sometimes lack of cooperation in the cooperative. I'm sure that sounds funny. And lastly, sometimes there are a lot of problems with overdue loans, which is people don't pay back. And I will always say that there is a solution to that. The solution basically is to ensure that all loans in your cooperative have guarantors. All those must be guaranteed. In fact, I will say all your transactions must be guaranteed. If you do that, you will have very little issues with overdue loans. Because when you have overdue loans, people who are guarantors, you debit them. So for them, it's also a problem that occurs in the cooperative. What are the recommendations? I've been seeing some of those challenges and problems. I will say that we should work hard. Our advocacy should increase to ensure that the regulatory authorities learn more about Islamic finance and also set up a desk for its regulation, meaning that the Lagos State or the respective state Ministry of Commerce or ministries that are in charge of cooperatives, we should increase our advocacy to ensure that they learn more about Islamic finance and they also set up a desk for regulation of Islamic cooperative. Number two, there must be very high level of collaboration and partnership with Islamic finance bodies, institutions, to boost the knowledge base of Islamic cooperative. What are we saying here? Bodies like NASFAT, bodies like Institute of Islamic Finance, and like Jais Bank, like some of those Taj Bank, Lotus Bank, all of those big Islamic financial institutions, they must collaborate and come together to encourage the cooperative. I can tell you for free, the cooperative, if they encourage the cooperatives, they will grow bigger because the benefits the cooperative can bring to them is huge. And I'm saying this from experience. The few times that some of those banks have cooperated with us, I can tell you that they will have found out that the benefits they have been able to derive from the cooperative is massive. So there should be a very, very high level of cooperation and collaboration among all Islamic finance institutions, like the Islamic insurance, the takaful companies, the Islamic, all of them. There must be a high level of cooperation. There should be strict supervision of loan takers, and they should be made to comply as necessary. What am I saying here? That when you give loans, like I mentioned, ensure all your loans are guaranteed. Number 4, in fact, not in some cases, in all cases, there must be guarantors and collateral for all loans. The 5th one is well-trained and qualified accountants should be employed to manage the finances of the cooperative. It should not be just anybody. There should be training and retraining of leaders through attending of seminars and trainings for the cooperative leaders and the cooperative members. Cooperative should not just be for middle and low income earners and poor people. We should build the cooperative to an extent that even the very, very rich people will be interested in being a part of the cooperative. And if we improve our governance system, if we improve the framework and structure of cooperatives, I'm very, very sure even the rich people will benefit from it. The committee should be created within the cooperative to monitor different activities. The cooperative is the cooperative, and it's because all of us are involved. The situation where we leave the cooperative executives to run all of their affairs can be tiring and burdensome. So we should set up different committees to handle different projects within the cooperative. It makes things a lot easier. Also, the government, we should try to explore some of those aids and financial assistance that the government give to cooperatives. Also encourage NGOs and corporate bodies, NGOs like NASFA, like I mentioned, to also be part of cooperatives. Regulatory authorities need to be upskilled in order to provide adequate regulation. Regular meetings should be held to discuss issues as appropriate. This improves commitment and also reduces conflicts within the cooperative. No decision should be taken at the top, being passed down to ordinary members. In all, I would say cooperative societies are beneficial to economic development and poverty alleviation. However, the inherent problems should be fought with the above solutions, and the prospects should be looked into as the goals are set. And I think like I mentioned, the sky is starting point and never the limit for the possibilities in a cooperative society. Like I mentioned, if time permits, we want to talk briefly about the role that the cooperatives play in financial inclusion. Moderator, let me know if I still have some few more minutes so that I can.
Yes, sir. Yes, you can go on, sir. You still have like 10 minutes, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. So I will quickly, yes. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. I'll quickly run through this, the cooperatives and financial inclusion. Let me quickly run through the financial data in Nigeria. So that's at 2008, 53% of adults in Nigeria are financially excluded. In 2010, the figures reduced to 46%. In 2012, the figures further reduced to 39%, meaning that today in Nigeria, there is the financial inclusion yes, financial exclusion is grossly declining in Nigeria. There's a whole lot of improvement in inclusion, but then there's still a lot of gaps. There are a lot of people who are financially excluded, most especially the Muslims, who don't want to take part in riba. The number of the size of financial services that are available to them is still very, very small, very, very limited. Meaning that the prospects of Islamic finance using the cooperative model is very, very huge. As of 2019, 40% of Nigerians, that is over 83 million people, live below poverty line. That is, they earn about 137,430 naira per year. So it is said that with the cooperative, a lot of this data can be improved. What exactly is financial inclusion? He said it's the availability and the quality of opportunities to access financial services. And this is what the cooperative can do. You can now see the link between cooperative, Islam, and financial inclusion. The cooperative gives access to equality opportunities to access financial services. So it means that we can use the cooperative as a model and as a base to improve financial inclusion in Nigeria. And is this just something we are thinking? Is this backed by data? There's this question that was answered by Abdullah Umar and Inaba in one of their studies. And also that same question was also worked on by Evans and Adeoye in 2016. And the central question of the study was, does financial inclusion reduce poverty and income inequality in developing countries? And these are some of their findings. There's something very, very particular about that finding, which I'm eager to share with us. So they evaluated the determinants of financial inclusion in Africa by using a dynamic panel data approach of 15 countries over the period of 2005 and 2014. The result shows that GDP per capita, money supply as a percentage of GDP, adult literacy rates, internet access, and Islamic banking activities have great significance in explaining the level of financial inclusion in Africa. Please note two major important things that are here that I will be talking about as we progress here. And that number one of it is internet access and Islamic banking, meaning that where Islamic banking or Islamic cooperative here meets internet access and is layered on Islamic cooperative, the results will be phenomenal. So that is a result of a deliberate study. And the World Bank Group is in their target for the next few years. They mention that financial inclusion is a key enabler to reducing poverty and increasing prosperity. Also, it is said that in a world where access to financial services and high-speed broadband internet is not universal or affordable, then fintech can democratize access to finance, and the world can move closer to achieving financial inclusion. They also mentioned that digital financial services powered by fintech have the potential to lower costs by maximizing economies of scale, to increase the speed, security, and transparency of transactions, and to allow for more tailored financial services that serve the poor. So what are we saying here? We are able to speak about Islamic cooperative generally, Islamic finance, Islamic banking, and internet access, which we agree that all of this helps in financial inclusion, which at the end of the day will help to reduce poverty and increase prosperity. But there's a new approach to this now, which is the direction we also as Muslims should begin to look into, which is the fintech. Fintech, which is the digital approach to banking. And it is the direction we should be looking at now. I don't want to conclude this presentation without mentioning this, that the world has moved away from the traditional way of running cooperative. The cooperatives is moving largely tech now. If we want to run our cooperative now, we should be ready to build our apps. And I can even tell you for free that there are several fintech companies in Nigeria today that have used the cooperative as their model. They have used the cooperative as the license through which they run. So it means that the cooperative is there for us when we Islamize it and now layer it on the digital financial system. I can tell you for free, there is what we can achieve is massive. What is digital financial services? They are services which rely on technologies for delivery and used by its consumers, meaning that you layer it on technology. Fintech refers to digital technologies that have the potential to transform the provision of financial services, meaning that those technologies can transform how you run your cooperative, which is here seen as financial services, spurring the development of new or modifying existing business models. So technology can now help us to modify an existing business model. The business model we are talking about here is the Islamic cooperative. You can use technology to modify it, to modify its applications, processes, and products. In practice, the term fintech, even though it's broadly used to denote a lot of new technologically induced businesses, platform, and transaction, but some of those very, very important technology that has advanced financial services are the web, the mobile, cloud services, machine learning, artificial intelligence, digital ID, APIs. All of these are what the cooperatives must put in place, must be willing, and must be ready to inculcate in their process of building their cooperatives. We should not today run a cooperative that does not. I will repeat, we should not or never today run a cooperative that is not layered on technology. It is a waste of time. It is not going to move at the level we need. If we want to make a concerted effort to fight poverty in the land, most especially within the Muslim Ummah, we must use technology as a layer, as the backbone for our value propositions and value offerings in Islamic cooperative. Once again, what have we been able to share today? We have been able to define what cooperatives are. We have been able to espouse, we have been able to define what cooperatives are. We have been able also to mention the values and the principles of the cooperative. We have also been able to espouse the nexus between Islam and the traditional cooperative. And we have seen that there is the fusion of both will be of great value to humanity. We have also been able to mention and affirm that Islam, as we have seen today, is largely open to the cooperative model as a model to Islamize and work with. We also mentioned some of the challenges, some of the products that a cooperative can run. We also mentioned some of the challenges of a cooperative, and we also made some efforts at bringing solutions to those challenges. In addition, we also mentioned the digital financial service as one of the focus that Islamic cooperatives should look into, and the role those digital financial services can play in building and expanding our Islamic cooperatives. I want to pause here, inshallah, and take some questions and contributions. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayka. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun ala al-mursalin, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Jazakumullahu khair al-jazak. We say a very big thanks to our brother Abdurrahman Leki for the wonderful presentation and submission. And thank you very much. It has indeed raised our consciousness and awareness to the importance of cooperative society and the importance of Islamic cooperative society in particular. May Almighty Allah reward you abundantly. We have some questions here. 3 questions specifically. Would you like me to read the questions out, or you'd attend to them on the Q&A box?
Okay, I'm not sure if you can see that. You can read it out, but let me check the Q&A box as well. Okay, I can see the Q&A box. Okay, on target savings and profit sharing. So does the member also share from the loss? Of course, the members will share from the loss. But what we tried to do, and that is the principle of Islam, I can tell you there's 2 ways around that. When you save, there in the profit and loss. But we tried to do as best as possible to target products that will hardly and there are several of such fixed income products that are compatible with Islamic principles. So up until today, we have witnessed any loss in our target savings, but the central principle is this: you will share both the loss and the profit. But I also want to encourage cooperatives that want to go into target savings to be careful and to be very, very meticulous about the kind of product that we go into. It will help us. It will help us to create a very, very strong footing and belief in the cooperative and the confidence in the cooperative in our members if we avoid loss products, most especially for target savings. Because the target savings is like competing with the fixed income or the interest yielding accounts in the conventional banks. So there are ways and manners that we can do this and will still be within the confines of Islam. But like I said, the central principle of Islam still reigns, which is that you will share in the profit and loss. I hope that is clear. Assalamu alaikum. Is there any correlation between cooperative society and Islamic microfinance banks? Yes, some of their value propositions are similar, but they are also different. They are similar in that they use the Islamic principles to run, but the regulators are different. The cooperative society is regulated by Ministries of Commerce and Industry, while the microfinance banks are regulated by the CBN. So their rules are different, but like I said, the value propositions are similar. Assalamu alaikum. Right. Please, we will appreciate. There's a third question. Said we will appreciate if the rest can share. Okay.
So we will come to that, sir. So many people even the chat box are already requesting for the slides. So we don't know if you'll be releasing your slides, but that's a personal one to you. We have some questions on the chat box. We didn't bring them to the Q&A. So I'd like to read them out to make them easier for you. I have one here. Can we say the Muslims' financial inclusion rate is so low at the expense of their Christian counterparts? Maybe you attend to that first.
So what's the question? You said the financial inclusion rate of the Muslims
Can
is
we
low.
say the Muslims' financial inclusion rate is so low at the expense of their, compared to the Christian counterpart, to the Christians?
Oh, on that, even though I don't have any statistical evidence as I speak, but if anecdotal evidence is anything to go by, that statement would most likely be true. I can tell you for free that a lot of Muslims are financially excluded. A lot of Muslims, and most likely, if the data, one of the data I share is anything to go by, let me quickly let me check that data if I can still share it in the slide. And it is the regional, sorry. Okay, I'm not able to bring back the slide again. Okay, yes, I can. I hope you can see my slide. Look at
Yes,
this. Look at the region. If you see the financial exclusion data in Nigeria, you will see that the North Central, the Northeast, and the Northwest has the highest level of financial exclusion in Nigeria. And if we know that, from what we know, that those two regions are populated majorly by Muslims compared to what we have in the South. That enough, that alone will be a statistical evidence that financial exclusion is higher among the Muslims than the Christians in Nigeria. But coming down to the South here, if you're not looking at this data, if you're generally looking at financial exclusion data for Nigeria, there is no statistical evidence on the religious, as far as religion is concerned, on financial exclusion. But like I mentioned, even though we don't have any statistical data, anecdotal evidence should. Next question, please.
Okay. This has to do with someone who collected a loan, if a member borrowed money and refused to return it. What are the steps to take in getting back the money Islamically? Did you get my question, sir?
Sorry.
Well,
sorry, I hope I'm back.
Yeah, it was frozen.
Yes, I got the question. I hope you can hear me. Somebody tried to call me, and so can you hear me now?
Yes, you lost your voice here. Yes, we can, sir.
Okay, so you see, that situation will only happen if we drop our boards and we refuse to follow the principle of the cooperative. If we follow the principle of the cooperative strictly, nobody can owe you money in the cooperative. How do I mean? The principle of the cooperative is that every loan must be guaranteed by another member. So if you are taking a loan of, if you have 1 million in our cooperative and you want to take a loan of 2 million, that extra 1 million you want to take will be guaranteed by another member. That is why the capital you have in the cooperative is your social capital. So if your another member is going to guarantee that 1 million, if you refuse to pay back your loan, we will simply deduct the savings of those members who guarantee you. It's as simple as that. So if you follow the principle of the cooperative, nobody will owe you money. There will not be an issue of refusing to pay. If they refuse to pay, we will go and take the the balance of your guarantor. So nobody will owe us money. But like I said, in the situations where we drop the ball, such stories abound. And I can tell you, I'm not saying this because we are not also culpable. We have situations like that in our own cooperative as well, where at some point in time we dropped the ball, and then we have some huge debts of people that have refused to pay. I hope I'm clear with that.
Okay. I want to ask a question as it has to do with the zero interest. The zero interest multipurpose cooperative, what does it take to be a member? Must one be a staff of the Lagos State government to be a member of the zero interest, or it is open to general Muslims?
Let me answer this, and I will be as open as possible. Today, the cooperative is open to non-civil servants, and that is the truth. Non-civil servants can join the cooperative. But let us also note this, that being a civil servant, because we have access to your payroll, we have access to your salary, it gives you some leverage when you join zero interest. But if you are not a civil servant, you may not be able to get that leverage because we don't have access to your own payroll. For instance, if a civil servant wants to get some financing, we may relax some of the rules of getting a guarantor. Why? Because we are sure, even if you don't have a guarantor, we are sure we can deduct our money from your salary if you refuse to pay us. But people who are not civil servants, they will not have access to that benefit. Why? Because we don't have access to your payroll. So some people who are not civil servants who join the cooperative, they come and say they are being discriminated against. No, it is not discrimination. We are only extending those benefits to civil servants because we have access to their payroll. I hope that is clear. So in clear terms, you don't have to be a civil servant to join zero interest today. And I always advise those who are not civil servants who want to join zero interest to try as much as possible not to join alone. When you join the cooperative, invite your friends, invite your co-workers. So when you need loan, you can get somebody who will stand as your guarantor. Not that you don't have a guarantor, you now say we are giving civil servants loan with that guarantor. You should also give. If you don't pay, how do we get our money from you? So I hope that is clear. I'm sorry I'm going beyond the brief of the question, but I'm deliberately using the opportunity to educate members of the public who join zero interest cooperative. Yeah.
I think it's fine, sir. That's it's a good one, sir. Okay, somebody says he thinks the zero interest cooperative is also open to non-Muslims. Is that correct?
Yes, very correct. It's open to everybody, Muslims and non-Muslims. In fact, I'm afraid the vote of Muslims in zero interest is growing very high, very, very high.
There is another one here that said, what happened to the zero interest cooperative society? How did it collapse? Run by Muslims. How did it collapse?
How did it collapse?
Collapse. Yes. That's what we have.
When the person gets the information that the cooperative is waxing stronger, it has not collapsed. I don't know where he got that information from. The cooperative has not collapsed. The cooperative is waxing stronger, even though we had some challenges, but there are surmountable challenges, and there is no sign of collapse anywhere at all. The cooperative is still existing. Our members are still getting their loans. They are still financing their products, and we are doing well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for that. I just had to ask too, because from your presentation, yeah, I understand that zero interest is doing fine. So when I saw that, we just have to clear our doubts, especially for the fact I am sure with this presentation today, so many people would have interest in cooperative. because some of us have a reservation.
Could you please share some of these reservations?
As it has to do with cooperative, what we do and all of that, because we don't seem to have too many
And how do you have, we have central mosques in your neighborhood. In that your central mosque, those of you that come for Jumat, they are up to 1,000 or even 2,000 sometimes. Who says you cannot start your cooperative there? Who says 20 of you within that cooperative, within that mosque cannot start a cooperative and invited that to join a cooperative? It is easy to start, it is easy to form, it is easy to run. If we want us to help in deepening the knowledge of how to run it, we can run technical trainings, deeply technical trainings on how to start it, how to run it, so that we can have enough of it. Like I would say, no Muslim in Nigeria today has any reason to join an interest-based cooperative because there are non-Islamic, not many Islamic cooperatives. You can start your own. That is my advice.
All right, so how do we reach out for anyone that has interest in joining? Zero interest now. So how do we reach out? How do they get to become members?
Anyone who has interest in zero interest can send a mail. They can send a mail to zerointerest2018@gmail.com. Equally, they can also go to the Play Store, Google Play Store, and download our app, Zero Interest app by Magatech. Zero Interest app by Magatech. They can download the app and From there, they can join the cooperative, pay for membership, and that is all. The world has gone technology now, and there's no barrier. But should they encounter any challenge in joining through the app, they can send a mail to that email I mentioned, zerointerest2018@gmail.com, zerointerest2018@gmail.com. And if they need a number to call, let me give the number of the account officer.
Sir, we will appreciate if you can just drop this on the chat box. You can
Okay, I'll try and do that now.
It's going to be very easy for our members to just copy both the email and all of that. So the executive secretary of NASFAT,
okay,
I can see his hand up. I guess he wants to respond to your question or something. So yes, sir, you have Brother Abdurrahman Adege, you have the floor, sir. Before we invite
my brother and friend Imam Abdurrahman Leki, thanks for that expose you gave to us. On the issue of cooperative, yes, there exists cooperative, but as part of measures to strengthen it, it's why this forum was created. There were a lot of teaching problems along the line that they noticed. So we needed to rub minds and see how we can strengthen the various ways of doing it better. So reaching out to you to get this is part of it, and definitely be rest assured, hands of fellowship will be straightforward to guide exactly based on your experience at zero interest and based on your technical know-how to straighten it. So thank you very much for that concise lecture, and looking forward to more collaborations.
All right, that was the executive secretary of NASFAT. Thank you very much, sir. So please, if you have any reason to join Zero Interest, which I'm sure you should, Abdurrahman Leki has dropped the information on the chat box. Please go there and copy that. So I'd like to call on our chief missioner to give, please, Imam Isiaq, Aleshiloy, we can't take anybody again. Maghrib is fast approaching. So I'd like to call on the chief missioner to give the closing remark and the closing dua and show our appreciation to the guest lecturer today. The chief missioner, sir. Wow, I just noticed that the CM is not on the attendance list, so I'd like to call on the chairman of the webinar organizing committee, Imam Mr. Uddin Salahuddin, to give the closing remark and the closing dua. Imam Salahuddin, please. You have muted again. I saw your mute. You have muted, sir. You need to check your mic. Okay, fine, sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
Alhamdulillah. Let me start by thanking our brother Imam Abdurrahman Leki for doing justice to the topic given to him. We appreciate him. We really thank you for that job well done. May Almighty Allah continue to increase your knowledge, and may Allah count this you have done to us today among as an act of ibadah for you, both on earth and in the hereafter. So we really appreciate you, and I'm pleading to you that we'll be reaching out to you to strengthen our cooperative, as the ES has just said. So anytime we reach out to you, we would like you to please give us attention So may Allah continue to strengthen you. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. And to other participants, we also appreciate you for joining today's program. And I believe we have all benefited more than one things from today's lecture. So may Allah crown all our efforts with success, both on earth and in the hereafter. Allahumma rabbana innana samina munadiyan yunadi lil iman an aminu bi rabbikum fa amanna rabbana faghfir lana dhunubana wa kaffir anna sayyi'atina wa tub alayna warhamna anta maulana fansurna ala al-qawmil kafirin. La hawla wala quwwata illa billah. Adu an la anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayka.